said her mic, has an issue, but she's asking a question. She said, "What are the design processes? What are your design processes, and how do you ensure that quality is always met?" And then the second question is, the difficulties. What are the difficulties that you face in your process of designing? So that is the very last question, guys. Thank you. All right, over to you, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you, Letitia, for your question. I think the my design process comes down to you have to have a vision of what you want to create, right? Every time you're creating something, you need to have a vision. Once you have a vision of where you're going, then it's easier to create. I used to tell people creativity is like spirituality. You can't just wake up and look at this on internet and just go and do the same thing and you think that's creativity. No, that's like copy paste. That's copy pasting stuff. Creativity more is like thinking about envision something, then wake up and say, okay, now I envision that people can actually run faster if I put spikes on this instead of just having this. So you go home and think, okay, how big do I want that spikes to be under the shoe so that the grip of the shoe will be better? Then you have to start thinking about, okay, maybe the height, how the wide and everything of that spike, so that when it goes to the soil, you might actually have better grip than making it a bit more round. Maybe you want to have it more sharp or something like that. So for me, I start with the vision. Then you goes with the finding inspiration, finding similar ideas of what people has done before. Inspiration. You look for inspiration not only on what people has done, but also in nature, because nature, like I said before, is the grand designer of everything that we see. Everything that you see today is from nature. Someone might say that, oh, I come up with this idea here. There's nothing that comes from nothing. And the only thing that is around us is nature. So everything that you see that people create comes from nature. They might not see it directly, but they might see it indirectly. Because, for example, this was created by the rocks of, Mount Cameroon eruption, stones that I picked from the beach and took home and had to, put down the idea of this. So I start with a vision, then I start with inspiration, then I go to sketches. Then from my sketches, I do prototypes. Then from prototype, then you're gonna see that, okay, this is what I need to change. Because if you skip one of these processes, let's say for example, you have an idea, you just go and just make a prototype, and the prototypes become bad. So you need to go from this is where your idea is, right? And this is where your prototype is. So there's a huge gap here that you left empty. That if the prototypes become bad, you have to run back to the beginning again and start thinking, okay, what was the idea again? But if you start from here and this is your prototype and you have your inspiration, you have your sketches, you can easily go from here and go back one step only to your sketches to see, okay, maybe is the shape, is the tip of this that is not looking good, or making the toe of this shoe hurts my feet. You might go back and wanna, change the sketch just a little bit instead of going back to the whole idea, like thinking, oh, the idea didn't work, let me just throw it away and start something new. You can just go back to the sketch and maybe change some setting stuff of the prototype, then go back again and create another prototype. So the process of creativity is very important because it makes it easier for you to also analyze what you've done and also make it better in the future. So you need to have these processes in place for you to ensure quality and also time efficiency.